When I hear the word tent, it brings back. When I hear the word tent, it brings back childhood memories of pitching a tent up in the backyard. That was a big adventure, but I'm sure the tents that Matt Allwright and Harry Alexander talked to us about are far more sophisticated than the homemade ones we used to do as kids growing up. But welcome to the show, Matt and Harvey. Great to speak to you. Give us the rundown on these tents.
Do you know what, though, Jimmy? What you're talking about there, that sense we had as kids of having an adventure, as soon as you are under canvas and, setting up a bed or even just spending the afternoon in a tent in the back garden, I don't think we ever really lose that sense of that adventure and how exciting that is. And I think we carry it into our adult lives. We never really grow up. And that's why, being at the show today and looking at particularly the roof tents, it just makes you think, God, anything's possible. We can get back out there and we can do it in comfort as well. Comfort and style. The roof tents sit on top of your car. You drive them to a caravan and motorhome club site and you're set up in seconds, and that's where the adventure really starts. So you're absolutely right. When we're 5 or 6 years old, we start doing that, and I think there's a little bit of that we carry with us through the rest of our lives.
No, absolutely, and I don't think there's anything better, to be fair, Matt, than good group of friends and getting together and just having a good chat, really, and in the outdoors in a nice environment. And absolutely. And what's the rundown on these tents? I mean, how do people get a hold of them, and how does it sort of work?
I think you can start out for just a few £100 with a roof tent, and as long as you've got a vehicle that you could fit a roof rack to, if you can put a roof rack on it, you can put a roof tent, and then you're away. I mean, like anything involved in the leisure industries, you can spend almost as much as you want, and some of them are linked into car manufacturers as well now, so you get them branded to your motor. Well, with those, you're talking about really objects of desire. They are beautifully designed. The space inside is gorgeous. They have memory foam mattresses built in, so you don't even need to get a separate bed. You can just put a sheet straight over that and you're away. And I think what it does is it bridges the gap there between the tent experience that I think a lot of us grew up with and not all of us love, and then the full motorhome or caravan ownership. It's just a gateway where you say, do I like this? Do I still, as an adult, love the idea of unzipping and hearing the birds singing? Or is it not for me? So you can get involved for hundreds of pounds rather than thousands and tens of thousands and see if it is for you.
Absolutely, and for sure. But generally, how would it work? Say, in terms of, would you buy the tent outright, or would it? Is it hired, or do you just buy it outright, and then basically from there, how would you go about sort of the location, like pitching it up? Would it be like a specific camp that you'd book?
Yeah. I think with a roof tent, it is something you'd buy outright because, once you got it, it's yours. And when it comes to sites, that's where the Caravan and Motorhome Club is invaluable because they have a network of 150 club sites, and all of those take roof tents. And then after that, you've got 350 club-approved campsites, and that's in the UK and in Europe as well. And then on top of that, you've got certificated locations. So almost anywhere that you want to go in the UK, and a load of places overseas as well, certainly into France, Italy, other places in Europe, you're covered. And the club knows what it's doing. It doesn't mess around. They are of the very highest standard. So you have that expectation that once you arrive, you're going to be comfortable.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's sort of, I think it's fantastic once you sort of especially come summer in the UK and Europe. You got the buzz, the vibe out there, and the really early mornings and late nights, and I couldn't think of anything better really than just sort of like when it gets light really early and dark really late, and you're out there and enjoying some good company. And where would you say, is there anywhere specific that you would say that you would recommend yourself, Matt? Anywhere sort of where are some locations that you think would work really well?
Do you know what? I love the whole of the UK. I love the South Coast. I think exploring the South Coast all the way from Cornwall through to Sussex and Kent. I mean, you're going to find somewhere, and that reality of waking up next to the sea, that really happens. What would you say, Harvey?
Well, I think it's interesting. You can travel 100 miles, 200 miles, but equally you can go on your doorstep. 20 minutes from home is still an escape. It's ability to get in the great outdoors, and like you say, just remove yourself from all that day-to-day life, all those hassles waiting for you at home. Go 20 minutes down the road and have an adventure.
And I also think you're absolutely right. It is lovely when we start getting the longer evenings and the early mornings. But increasingly, the roof tent and the vehicles that we're seeing allow us to stretch that period even longer. So it's not just May till September. You can go March to November in a lot of these vehicles and still be in comfort and warmth. So, and the sites, the club sites are open much longer these days to allow people to do that.
No, absolutely. And it's great the seasons as well. Like different seasons as well. And like you says, there's a lot. There's a lot of places like not too far away. You don't have to sort of travel too far. But I suppose if you get a bit adventurous and want to sort of get out there and explore different places, it's quite versatile. In terms of like anyone listening in thinking, okay, I want to take the next steps and see. Know some more information. Is there any way they can go to get more information and get themselves sort of, moving forward?
Yeah, so if you come to the club website, which is camc.com, it's a great place to start, and there's loads of information from camping to motorhoming to caravanning. But also we have a forum on the website which is called Club Together, and that's where I do all my research. It's full of thousands of members who are willing and happy to advise you, give you some, handy hints, some life hacks. If ever I'm going on a trip, I normally put it on there and say, guys, I'm going away for the weekend. I'm going to the New Forest. What are some really good cycle rides? And you'll get advice on all the cycle rides. You'll get great advice on the best fudge shop and the best cafe or pub to stop at. So yeah, come to the website camc.com and get on the forum. There's great advice there from people who've been doing this for years and absolutely love it.
No, absolutely. I think that's sort of great to get a heads up of sort of, for sure. Planning, I think, it's great being spontaneous and getting out there. I think sort of planning and having an idea of obviously different logistics and like he says, walking trails, cycling trails and that sort of stuff, can be really useful, absolutely. But no, that sounds really great, and I'll check it out myself, that's for sure. But thanks for your time, Matt and Harvey, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.